Welcome to Oasis, Tribe with the Vibe, where we lift up the spirit and open our mind. Wellness, reflection, empowerment, joy, healing together. Your soul will enjoy. Hosted by Nutter, let the journey begin. Authentic on the vibes, bringing light from within.
Hey tribe, welcome back. It's season 2. Woo! I'm so excited that you've been rocking with us all the way into season 2. Can you believe it? This wellness podcast has made it to its second season. I just can't stop saying it. I can't stop saying it. And to just ride on that high of being in season 2, we get the honor of having a special guest today, which doubles the fun. And you'll know what I mean when we get to the end. Okay. You'll know what I mean when we get there. Today's episode and conversation is with Hassahn. And we're going to talk about men's health with Be the Miracle. Men's needs matter too. It's very dear to my heart because I'm the first girl granddaughter on my father's side. So I spent a lot of time with the boys. And men's conversations just take on a different tone and tenor when other men are in the room. And I enjoy that so much because a lot of my friends in past relationships have told me that I think like a man. And I do because I was essentially raised around my uncles, my cousins, and they just have a way of going about life. So I'm excited for this conversation, not just because of Hassahn, but because, again, I told you the double feature that's going to happen. Okay, so be excited for that. Season 2 is just packed with a lot of great conversations to dive even deeper into the things that we expressed in season 1. And men's health has always been on the top for us. If you were with us in season 1, you understand that Max came on from Brazil to talk about the horrors that men face within and have to discuss, because if they don't, Lord knows what happens. We need to take care of our men, no matter what their color is, okay? So today's episode is a powerful one because we're talking about something we don't uplift enough in our community, and that's men's health. Mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. Our guest today is Hassahn, a man who considers himself a certified world changer. And honestly, he lives it. With the motto, instead of waiting for the miracle to happen, be the miracle that makes it happen. Hassahn is building healing into the culture. One song, because yes, I listened to the album and I like it. I like it. He's been singing for a while, y'all. Y'all really need to check out Hassahn Phenomenon, okay? One conversation and one act on purpose and scholarship, one cup of tea at a time. As the co-creator of Be the Miracle, alongside his longtime and our mutual friend and fellow DePaul graduate, Kristen, Hassahn is committed to bringing powerful, profound, purposeful, and positive energy to the world. He's also a father, raising 2 young kings, which makes this conversation even deeper because the future is watching how we take care of ourselves today, especially our men. Let's get into it. We're hoping to talk about promoting, normalizing men prioritizing their health. Create a culture where men, especially Black men, feel safe and empowered to get checkups, talk about stress and mental health, address sleep, nutrition, and emotional well-being without shame or stigma, especially when they're trying to date people. Turn wellness into action, not just conversation. Inspire the tribe to take practical steps towards healthier living, small, consistent habits that build long-term change, like hydration, movement, and intentional routines. And the last thing we're hoping that you all get from this conversation is to strengthen your community support by building a legacy of healing. We encourage you all to check on the men in your lives, build accountability, and model healthier ways of coping. So our future generations of young kings grow up with tools, not trauma. We want to break those cycles and change the bloodline. Welcome to today's Mindful Minute. Take a moment to inhale and exhale. And if you feel comfortable, close your eyes. Focus on your breathing as you listen for the bell. Now return to your space. Take in one last deep breath and open your eyes. Tribe, welcome Hassahn to the show.
What's good, everybody?
Yes, season 2 has just been feeling so good, so liberating. We are honored to have you here.
Oh, I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me. I love the vibe already.
Oh, that's great. I think I shared this with you already, but I've been secretly watching you in action since the parties on Longwood, and you've been doing great things in the community. So I'm just really honored to have you here in this space like this. Like, I don't know. I pictured us connecting in a different capacity, and I still think we should, because Oasis Academy absolutely should have a scholarship and be the miracle. Oh, I love that, being partners. But in my brain, this was not that thing. And now this has just opened up so many doors, I feel. And I mean, especially with you all planning things, I just think it's so good. Yeah,
I'm happy to be here. Humbled that you even asked me to come. Thank you for welcoming me into this wonderful space. I love the energy. I love you all. I love what y'all doing. So, hey, open book. Let's get it.
So tell the audience about yourself. You know, I shared some glowing things about you, but what's your audience know?
Well, pretty much, I'm just a guy that like tries to move through the world with a purpose, right? I know why I'm here. I'm here because I know I'm supposed to help uplift people, and I'm here to help people maybe see things in themselves that they don't see. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I think that's the gift I've been blessed with. Like I can see somebody's like your words say one thing, but your energy tells me something different.
Yes.
And so when I read people's energy and when I feel like drawn to them, I have this thing where we connect in a way, and I don't want to make it look like I'm always helping them, because I also feel when you're living in your purpose, the people that come to your life is it's synergistic, so it's coming back and forth. So I'm always down for just to again uplift, help people, and I do that in just various capacities. I'm tend to be good with words, so whether that's the written word, musical word, visual aspects of the word, I am here to spread the word and uplift. That's kind of how.
Yes. And he is uplifting in his new album, I'm Leaving Here with Something. Okay.
Yeah.
Check it out. Anywhere you get your music. I listen to it where I get my music, and I have added it to my playlist.
Thank you for listening. I appreciate
it. Yes. You know, when you go to your discography.
Yeah, discography.
I said, okay.
Yeah, I've been doing music for quite some time.
It was the swipe for me. I was like, okay, yeah, you have. I hope you would allow us to feature a few of the new songs that you have on this album, because I have some favorites and I wrote them down because
absolutely, yeah, whatever you want to do.
You know, I love when a person comes on the show. I'm like, please do your thing.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, you can do it.
Definitely did my research, because I, love to uplift the community, and this album is uplifting.
Thank you. I tried to put something out there like that. Yes. And I really don't like talking about myself, but thank you.
But no, you can, as someone who went in blind.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised.
If you've been craving peace, clarity, and a little more you time, this is your sign. Synergy Oasis is where wellness meets intention. Holistic Core is our way of helping you align your mind, nurture your body, and protect your energy, one ritual at a time. From empowering decks to reflective journals, that feels like a deep exhale. Plus, stay tuned with our wellness podcast, Oasis Try with Vibes, where healing is real and growth is a lifestyle. Shop Synergy Oasis Holistic Core or subscribe to our meditations on Substack. Together, we grow and thrive. Find out more at synergyoasis4u.com.
Always surprised.
See,
Yes.
I knew he did music because he's performed at his galas.
I did do that, yes.
And so I've seen it, so I'm like, oh, okay. It's been nice.
True story. I didn't even want to do that.
What?
Yeah,
it was so natural.
They,
it was like
it
was like it was pre-planned.
Nah, they made me do that. Don't get me wrong. We did pre-plan it.
Of course.
They had to convince me to do it.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like a...
Because I hadn't performed in years before I did that. So it was just like, I was like,
guessed that.
And I did it because my sons were there, and they never seen me perform.
Wow.
So sweet. That's good.
It was
a good... I love it.
Thank you.
And talk about stepping outside of your comfort zone and allowing the next generation to see that it's okay to do that, even when you're feeling uncomfortable doing that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I felt like my sons needed to see me do that because, they, you know, no disrespect to the artists they listen to. I was like, man, I was like, no, I just sound like talk. But I was like, I'll wipe the floor with the blues. Anyway, and not in a disrespectful way, meaning like I just care about the craft so much. That's all.
Yes, and you can tell, especially on the song "That's Life" and "Fake Love." You also tell you from Chicago because some of the things that you say in the song. Oh, honey, I was listening to this album. Okay,
I'm a Chicago.
Yes,
yeah, through and through.
Yes. Okay. I mean, that just threw me for a loop because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole too long because I just have one question.
Sure.
What made you start writing music in the first place? Getting behind, like the fact that you investigated a studio to go to, you found a producer and said, I want to put poetry to this track. What?
Okay.
How? And
can I go way back to how it really started?
Please.
Yeah, so this real back in time. So my parents recognized a gift in me when I was really young. I'm talking about like kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and they would put me into these poetry competitions. Now I wasn't at that time writing my own poetry. I would just recite things by like, you know, Langston Hughes or Gwendolyn Brooks, some of the, you know, Nikki G, but all like the all-time greats. You know, like and then I started winning some of these competitions, usually like first or second place and stuff like that. And so they put me in front of an audience at an early age so I would feel comfortable. Even though to this day, if I perform, I still get nervous right before I get up there. But after
every audience is different.
So that kind of captured my love just for poetry and the written word to start. But then, because of the age demographic, you know, I'm Generation X, so I came up when hip hop was kind of in its infancy too, right? Yeah. So I remember listening to like, this will sound super old school, but like Run DMC, the Beastie Boys, LL Cool J, you know, them type of cats. And then later in the 90s, which was kind of like our golden era, you know, you had like people like Tribe Called Quest or Outkast, Snoop, Wu-Tang, EPMD, everybody, you know what I'm saying? Rakim, KRS-One. Yes. All those people were like influences to me. And then I noticed that I had a gift to be able to freestyle. You know what I mean? Like just literally just start rapping off the top of my head. And I was doing that like 7th, 8th grade. But I was also kind of like a nerd, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So I never thought about doing music as like a career or anything. It was just something that was just in me naturally. Yeah. Like I loved it. It's like just a way of expressing myself. And then even in high school, no one even knew I could rap because I was so shy. Like I would never show anybody that talent, like because I knew I could do it, but I just would never show anybody. It took me to get to college, and I met some like-minded brothers, like my brother Johan, say Emilio Bucks, that's the producer that I work with now, and they kind of instilled a confidence in me, like, hey man, you're good at this. You should really try to do it. And then so that's when I kind of came out my shell and started rapping and stuff like that. And then still in college, I was majoring in mathematics, a nerd, like I told you. Any of my parents really wanted me to be like a doctor, a lawyer, you know, the typical things that Black parents say, you got to grow up and be this. So I finished school, got my degree in mathematical sciences, did all that. But there was something in me that just wasn't my energy. It was so boring. So then I moved to LA. Would I like graduate after graduating from college? I would stay in Chicago maybe like a year and a half, then move to LA. And when I moved to LA, that's when I really started getting into it because why do people go to LA, especially back then, for your dreams and all that other stuff like that? And that's what made me say, you know what, let's see what I can really do with this to see if I would be any good at it for real. And so there you go. That's how it started.
I had the head blowing emoji when I listened to the album because I've seen you promoting the foundation at educational events around the same folks at house parties or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Never in my mind's eye were you a rapper.
Yeah.
And so when I first started playing it, I was like, okay, no, he really is about the craft. You know, a lyricist who really is trying to send a message, not trying, who is sending a message through what he's saying. I was like, okay, you know,
Thank you. I appreciate
you wear many hats and you wear them well. That was
Thank
really
you.
good.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
sure.
I appreciate you saying
For
that.
sure. So check out again Hassahn Phenomenon. He gonna promote his own stuff, but for real. Check it out.
Yes. I'm leaving here with something.
Yes. And I left with something. I did.
Yeah, and I got that from Denzel. So, you know, he was in an interview. Yeah, he said in that interview where he was talking about. This is funny to me. He was at the Oscars one year. The year he didn't win, I think he lost to Sean Connery when he was up against Sean Connery, and he was in an interview with Jamie Foxx, and he was just like, you know, I'm from around the way. He was like, so you know, I lost that Oscar, but we was in the. He said they were in the back in the green room. And they had like these trays or platters of food or something, and he was like, my mama told me to grab some of the flour arranged. So he's like, I did that, and he's like, I'm leaving here with something. He's like, I'm from around the way. I'm leaving here with something. And honestly, I took that as a metaphor to say I'm leaving this earth with something, like some integrity. Hopefully I lifted somebody's spirits, consciousness, whatever, you know. So I'm leaving here with something.
Yeah. For sure, inspired purpose. It made me think like I should be going into every situation empty, expecting to be filled. Like I should be leaving here with something. That's really what I took from it.
Thank you. And that's kind of how I intended it. Everybody should feel like we left something on. We should left something, but we're also leaving with something. Meaning, with hopefully our name intact, we uplifted some people, made some people smile.
If I can ask, I am the person who loves to just listen to music without lyrics, and I really appreciated that. Like the second half is just the acoustics and instrumentals. Is that why y'all did that? For people like me,
I won't take credit for that side of it. The producer Emilio Bucks, that's my brother. He is he's a producer, but he's like just a sound technician, and he understands like that sonically you can move people even without lyrics. It's and he's also a percussionist, like he plays the congas and all that stuff like that. That was his idea to do the second half is just instrumentals to let people vibe out and feel their own energy from it. Because what I might hear. Like what I might hear to put lyrics to, you might hear it just to like, oh, I just want to chill to it. Other people might hear it like, oh, I want to write something to it.
You know, like the whole house, clean the whole house.
See, we need to connect with him about our theme song.
Yeah, so I give him the credit for the instrumentals because he's really a big about making sure that people really hear the music and how it was, and how raw it was before I jumped on it and made it what I mean, that's what art should be.
Yes.
What's up, y'all? This your boy Hassahn Phenomenon, HP, Sauce, Hassahn, all the things. I'm right now live with Oasis Tribe with the vibes, and it's definitely a vibe. Shout out to 9t3.com. Go get your tea. Shout out to Be the Miracle. Don't wait on the miracle. Be the miracle. Just basically go follow me for all the things that I'm doing out here in the world. Just at Hassahn. That is usually my social media name for all platforms, and that's just HASSAHN. And you already know what it is in the world of this tea. Peace, prosperity, and pinky up. Let's get it. Peace.
Shout out Emilio. Thank you. That was great. I really felt seen and heard because the whole second half.
Thank you.
I'm
glad you vibed out to it.
I am not gassing you up. I am telling you. I am dead serious. When you came through the door, I almost told you then, but I'm like, I have to save this. You want to wait. Because I needed you to know that, like, you sent that as just like, here's my bio. You were so humble about it. And I read it and I said, I didn't know this. Let me Google him. Right. Let me Google him. And then when I realized you were on the platform where I could hear everything that you produce, and this latest one like spoke to me because it didn't have no words on the second half.
That's what's up. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you definitely have a new fan.
Thank you.
For sure. Well, while we're talking about ways and what inspired you to start 9T3?
Oh, that's a good question too. All right, so this was during the pandemic, and this was when they started opening up restaurants a little bit, and but you only could still eat outside. Okay. Like so you couldn't eat here in Chicago. And me and my good friend Sid, who we went to college together at DePaul, another another DePaul alumni. But she's also on the board for my nonprofit, Be the Miracle. And so we went to have lunch. And as you know, during the pandemic, a lot of people lost their 9 to 5 jobs,
Absolutely.
and or had laid off, fired, whatever, all different things. And so we were just sitting there. And the purpose of us going to lunch was, what could we do to basically secure our futures where we're not dependent on corporate America and these corporate American jobs and stuff like that. And we literally were sitting there wrecking our brain, like, we both smart, we both creative. Why we ain't thought of nothing to take us out the rat race? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
like don't get me wrong, I've been grateful for every regular job that I've had, but at the same time, I just know that's not my energy.
No.
I know corporate America is not built for me. The energy, the whole way that all the stuff you got to do. I don't want to. It's just not me. No. So we sat there and Bob talked, and we just couldn't think of nothing. Then the server came over, and he was like, "Hey, would y'all like to place a drink order?" So I ordered some bougie tea, and then she ordered some bougie tea. And then and she was like, "Oh man," she was like, "Man, Sauce, sorry, Sauce is my real nickname." She was like, "Man, Sauce, I didn't even know that was your you like tea like that." I was like, "I know you for 30 years. I ain't never seen you drink tea." And she was just like, "No, but I'm a real tea drinker." I was like, "No, I'm a real tea drinker." We was like, "Oh no, I drink loose leaf. Don't get me wrong, I will drink some regular leaf or something. No disrespect to them. I will drink some whatever regular tea." But we both realized we just like bougie tea. You know what I'm saying? Or very organic or high end and then we just started, we was like, what if we started a tea company? But we knew brick and mortar already have proven that if you have something like a pandemic, you can go down, So we was like, and I was like, well, maybe we can do it as e-commerce. And then so we started thinking of names and all of that. And then we were like, oh, what if we centered it around 90s and early 2000s hip hop? Because that's the era we grew up in. So hence the tea names. But then we was like, what can we call it? And we literally set all of this came, not every name for every tea, but the name of the company came that same day at lunch. We was like, and I think I said, well, we met each other in the year of 1993 at DePaul. I was like, what about 93? And she was like, oh, God, that's it. And then we just we started vibing on it. And then we took some time.
Names are so dope.
And we just took time to build on it and just execute something. And now it's a full-fledged e-commerce company. Well, we ship directly to your home. We do vendor markets. We've even spoken at DePaul. We did like an alumni thing where like they had us come do like a tea thing we did with some of the former students like us. So we just been vibing out, having a good time with it. And I'm just being honest, there's nothing like being compensated for a passion that you have or like a love, and we love what we do, and we're also just trying to promote wellness within our community too. You know what I'm saying? So not just mental health, but physical wellness, what we consume. Don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm drinking bourbon right now, but you know what I'm trying to say, like
in moderation
and every balance, so we want to get some balance to our community. And also sometimes tea or anything people that they consider refined, it can be scary to some people, like, oh, I don't know about all of that. But what we like to say is we serve tea and culture from the block to the boardroom. So, it's for everybody on the block. It's for you in the boardroom, wherever you want to try to vibe out, travel, vacation, all the things. Tea is the most consumed beverage on the planet. It's keep tea and coffee.
I was going to say that, especially.
You say what?
It's the highest one that's not a drug. Coffee is considered a drug because of caffeine in it.
Yes, exactly.
It's the
exactly. So
they have tea times everywhere.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the story of 93. I'm sorry. I hope that went not too long of a story, but that's just
that was
a good story.
Perfect. Yeah. In fact, we would love to know the huge wins that 93 has had or that you have had. Period.
Sure. Let's talk about 93 wins. The first one I would say is one doing the thing at DePaul where it all started. I met Sid at DePaul, so and that's that's the homie.
Full circle.
And I used to literally sleep on the edge of her bed, like because we were the night owls, and so and we were just so cool. Even her boyfriend at the time was cool with me sleeping on the edge of it because we was homies, and so. The fact that something grew from a friendship I created 30 years ago, I mean, that's priceless. I can't even put a price to it. That's probably one of the biggest wins when we went back there. Also, we just partnered with a couple other Black-owned businesses. Struggle Beer Bakery, which is in Hyde Park. They serve our tea now.
That's wonderful.
It's a coffee shop called Muse, where their kind of things like coffee, tea, mental health, art, and all that. So it was perfect synergy with them too. So our tea's being served there. And we got a big one coming. I just say it, because it's official, but they haven't. It's not being sold there. But the new Wind Creek casino that they put in like Homewood area, their
Yes.
spa will be serving tea very soon. Yeah, so that's
Yes.
another big win that we had. Oh, man, we did some stuff with the city. We sponsored a Common concert that he did. We weren't the only sponsor, but we sponsored a summer concert he did last year, I believe, or 2 years ago. It was dope with the Chicago Orchestra. No, it was dope. It was so dope. Yeah, so we did that. So those are some of the big ones.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
What advice would you have to anyone in our audience in the tribe who is an aspiring e-commerce business owner, entrepreneur? What's something you've learned in this arena as well?
I would just say, and this is just for anybody, any e-commerce, anything you want to do, don't feel like you have to know everything to do it. Don't get me wrong, knowledge is power. The more knowledge you have, the better it can be. But sometimes you just gotta trust in yourself, trust in your gift. And in this day and age, there's really no excuse. Everything is out there for you to discover, like via I'll be honest, the internet. Like me and Sid, when we were set down doing our business, when we got to the point we needed the trademark, we were debating, should we hire a lawyer? Because they when you look at everything, it's like when you look at the trademark site, it's like a lawyer is better because if you do this wrong, then it's going to take this long. It's going to do this, and they've been trained on this, et cetera, et cetera. And I agreed. I mean, I 100% agree. But then I started looking at the application, and I was like, "See, we both smart. This ain't that hard." I was like, "If we really just focus in on it," and we did. We spent one night in my spot, and it took us about maybe 2 hours to finish it. But we are officially trademarking. Me and Sid did it ourselves. So it's just like basically trusting your gift. Trust in the knowledge that you do have. And of course, there's nothing wrong with partnerships. That's the beauty of it. Lean on a mentor if you don't know something. Lean on somebody else in your tribe or in your circle that has a gift in something else that maybe you're not good at. And when we build community together like that, then it almost becomes unstoppable, or it's nothing that we can't bring to fruition when we work together.
Oh,
that's kind of like
I love that. I love that. And if you're just tuning in, this is Oasis Try with Vibes, a wellness podcast where we talk about the real things that you probably wouldn't share with the people that you love, even though you should. So we're going to dive a little deeper into the conversation with this now, okay? Why do you think men, especially Black men, often push through instead of checking in on their bodies and emotions?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
I will say, I think it's kind of been okay. I think it's been kind of ingrained in us to a degree. There are some things that we've learned culturally over time that are good for us, but there are also things that we've adopted that are not so good for us. We've always had to be a symbol of strength because when we walk out into the world, not only do you have to protect your energy, your peace, your everything, your family, your children, your wife, whatever, your cousins. That whole provider thing, I believe in that, but that whole provider thing is put on us in a way that I will say is it has a gift and a curse to it. I do think we should get out there and do what we need to do and whatever, fend for our families, fend for ourselves, go make the money. But the part that we've skipped is doing what resetting or taking a break from it or focusing on our own mental or physical health. We do that so like it's like this pressure that comes from everybody, your circle, your community. You heard it like
heavy is the crown.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't doing this, you ain't a real man. You know how many times you ain't doing this, you ain't it's like it's that energy of having to do it, and you got to stand up to just being honest. You out here fending, you fighting against whiteness. Sometimes you even fighting against your own community. Like in the sense of like when you're dealing with other people around you who are not evolved, so to speak. Because I don't like to say people are bad, but maybe they're not evolved. So you're always just in this constant fight. And when you're fighting, you're in a very defensive mode, and it's hard to bring that defense down to just sometimes focus on peace and energy and taking care of yourself and all that kind of stuff. I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. It's just like you're just in a constant, always a battle, and you don't know sometimes when to put the gloves down. Because even when you're not fighting, you sometimes are still fighting because you're fighting your internal demons and stuff you don't want to see. It is so hard for us to look in the mirror and say, I'm part of the problem too. You know what I mean? And we don't do that, man. again, you're in a constant fight mode. It's like, so it's like what they say old school, fight or flight. So either you're fighting in it or you're flying away from it versus being deeply ingrained in it and understanding yourself first and unlocking yourself and being able to be vulnerable and all that. And also we struggle to find sometimes safe spaces to be vulnerable.
Absolutely.
So I would say that. I would think that's why so many black men particularly are, it's a weight on you. It's definitely a weight. And even if, and sometimes you don't even know it. It's just like, because you're just taught to, this is just life. You just like, this is what, it's supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be easy. That's kind of what you are taught. Even if no one said, like, your life's supposed to be hard, the energy you feel even in your own home, or sometimes it's just like, you got to do this, you got to do that. And even sometimes, now I didn't have this, but I've seen it with many of my other brothers, like, sometimes even your own parents, you got to be a man, you got to do this, you got to be out my house by 18, you know. So if you already hearing this, you're hearing this since
you're like 9 or 10,
exactly, you got to be a man, you got to be tough, don't let nobody punk you, etc., etc. And I'm a, you know, in stature I'm a very small man, so I even heard this from my own father, uncles. Hey, they're gonna try to punk you because you little, you got to be tough, you got to be. So you're not even taught necessarily like to resolve things just like verbally. You literally are taught to be like, it's fight or flight, you know, flight. And so anyway, I think that energy carries into our adulthood sometimes.
As a father of 2 young kings, how are you teaching them strength and healing and asking for help?
I will say that has not even been easy because it is still a balance, right? When you raise 2 young kings, you want them, like, so the one thing I tried to do different from at least the time that I grew up with my children is I got away a little bit from that, and I'm just being real, that black thing of like, you are my child, you shut up and be silent, you don't have a voice, you do this because I said so. You know, don't get me wrong, I do think all children need to respect their elders, adults, and stuff like that. But I also feel like you have to give them a voice. Like if you continually silence them, how will they ever get to a place where they feel comfortable expressing what is going on in their head? And there's a lot of pressure out there on those young men and young women. So it's just
how will
like,
they find their identity?
Exactly. So so when it comes to that with my young kings, I just try to tell them, hey, go after what you want. Definitely do work hard, but at the same time, this is a safe space for you. There is no one that's gonna have your back more so than me and your mom. So this is a safe space. Talk to us. If you battling demons, let us know. We're here to help you. We're not here to hinder you. Now I always tell my sons too, there are consequences for your actions. Just because you tell me the truth, don't think that it doesn't come with a consequence. But respect that more so than you respect your friend's opinion or somebody else out in the street that's trying to lead you in the wrong direction. So that's the way I just try to give them balance, for lack of a better word. A balance of, yes, respect me, respect your elders, but also respect yourself. I always tell them that. I always tell my kids, don't do anything that you think because you're doing it to please me or your mom or even your elders. Do something righteous, respectable, with integrity, because it's better for you. And I was like, well, so whatever your dream is, your passion is, I just want to help you cultivate it. I'm not here and guide you where I can guide you. I'm not here to halt you from your dreams. I'm not here but I'm also here to kind of maybe make you think bigger than what you're thinking, if that's something you want. I never force anything on my son, so it's kind of
I'm not a parent, obviously, but I think of parenthood as like those guardrails that you put up when you're bowling. Like, it's not really
more like not guardrails, more like cushion, like bumper car, like
like
a little bumper.
car.
And you want them to also have a safe space. Like I tell my son, I would rather you ask me anything anyway to me than go ask your friend that's the same age as you and don't have their experience. Like it's an open doors policy, and it should be a safe space for you to ask for guidance, ask questions as you get older, and the level of assistance can waver as you need it and as it comes about, but there should be an open door policy with you and your kids so that they can learn. Like that whole, I agree with you saying that do as I say and you can't ask why and you just do it. And it's like some kids need you to explain, because the reason why will be like, oh, okay, I get that, and it will be ingrained in them a system of why they're doing this process. Why does it need to be done? Sometimes you just got a question. We had so many questions growing up. It's like, what's wrong with a question?
Exactly.
And especially to a person that don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And with parents, sometimes, I'm just going to be real, I think we have to remove our ego sometimes. We have an ego about being parents. Like, I done did this, I done lived this life, you shut up, you listen to me. And the example I give you with my sons or kings, you know, just to give you a little background, Neither one of my sons are actually my biological children, but I look at them as my biological children.
Period.
So I never treat them like stepchildren or anything like. But like I don't know if y'all saw that old school Will Smith episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when his daddy
Snitched him.
it's ditched him, and he was
Oh.
like, "Well, come my daddy don't want me no more," you know, that type of energy like that.
It was
So
real.
I wept.
yeah, I actually had a real life moment like that with my oldest son because I'm not his biological father. And when he was younger, he was going through a thing where he was missing his biological father. Shout out to his biological dad because he is around and in his life. So it's not that he wasn't around, but he just wasn't around as much as I was, you know, at that time. So, and he was really missing his dad. He had that whole thing where he kind of went off on me, like, "You're not my real daddy. Who are you to tell me?" You know, that type of stuff like that. And I'm sharing this because I like to be an open book. But instead of me having the ego and being like bruised by what he said, I just sat down with him. I was like, "You're right. I'm not, and I'm not trying to replace him. I want to uplift him just like I uplift you, and we can work together. It's in a synergy as a village versus it's not me against him.
Yep.
It's not me trying to take his spot.
Absolutely.
And let's talk about that. If you feel in that pain, like let's talk about that.
Absolutely.
Let's get that out." So like I didn't even get upset by it because I kind of knew this was coming too, and also I had foresight because I saw the difference between the way my older son and my younger son operated in that space. My other son didn't. Of course, he loved and missed his dad, but not. It didn't impact him as much as my older son. So that day when it came, I wasn't even surprised. I knew it was coming because I could see it building up, and I had tried to talk to him prior to that. But you also have to be open enough to let them come to you when they're ready because everybody's not ready. So but that was the day I knew he was ready because he had that breakdown, and we grew a lot since then, and that was an amazing breakthrough. So I'm very appreciative of the moment versus being bruised.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. That's important. And it's important to have those conversations in the moment versus waiting a week or a couple of days, and now you've lost the momentum with that and the opportunity to have a healing conversation because it needs to happen. We're just often afraid to have them in the moment, and that is the problem.
The impact in the moment is crucial for the healing.
Yeah, so we had a deep conversation that night, me, him, and his mom. So it was just like it was very good, and I actually encouraged him to reach out to his dad to tell him how he was feeling because I was like, if you hold on to that anger is going to show itself later in your life. So try to have, it's like when you can, try to have an open dialogue with your dad too. You know.
So when did you personally decide to stop waiting for change and just be the miracle or be the change? And what shifted that cause in your life? Or you know, sometimes you have to sacrifice something for the new thing.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Well, I've always, my nature as a person has always been giving and all that kind of stuff like that. That's always been who I was. But I had a breakthrough when I lived in LA. I was about 27 years old at the time, and I'll never forget it. I'm sorry, this is going to be one of the longer stories. That
we love it.
So I lost, I broke my cell phone back then by accident. Right? I know you probably think, what the hell I got to do with it?
No, but I mean, back then, oh my God.
Right, so I broke my cell phone. Now, at the time, I still had a landline, too, because, you know, landlines were still a thing. but anyway, giving basically telling my age. But anyway,
people collect those now as like,
do they really?
Yes.
Some of them turned them into lamps.
Really?
Yes.
All right. Oh, old school phones, really?
Yes.
I didn't even know that.
Especially the color light up ones.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So I lost my cell phone, but nobody even had my landline because I just had it as a backup. Because back then, cell phones, I mean, don't be wrong, cell phones were popular, but they weren't as smart as they are now. Yeah. I guess you want to say. So you had a backup landline just in case. So I never gave that number out. But anyway, I lost my cell phone. And I kept saying, I'm going to go replace it. I'm going to go replace it. But I just kept putting it off. And what happened was my friends at the time, or my tribe in LA, they couldn't get in touch with me. Now at this time I was younger, so I'm new to LA. I'm in these streets. I'm like kicking it all the time. Like every night is a party. Sure, that's how my life was at that time.
I wish I was 20 something.
Yeah. Oh my God, don't you wish you were? But anyway, I was having a great time. But when I lost that cell phone, I stopped going out as much. And then I started being like, I was like I would be fine during the day. I go to work, do my thing, but at night, then I would be like kind of depressed, and I didn't know why. And I was just like, what the hell's going on with me? Because I'm usually the happy-go-lucky person doing all the things. And I realized what was happening in my life at that time. My friends, everything I did were more like distractions versus being real connections. And what I mean by that is I was feeding my spirit and my energy through going out and partying, drinking, or don't get me wrong, these people were good people, but I realized also I was manipulating these people and I didn't even know I was doing that. And what I mean by that is, so for instance, if a friend needed me to be the funny Hassahn, I was the funny Hassahn for that friend. If this one needed me to be the intellectual Hassahn, I was the intellectual one for that one. If this one needed me to be the compassionate Hassahn, I was that for them. Never showing, these were all things that were part of me, but I never showed up in spaces genuine. They were always catered toward, how can I get this person to like me more? Does that make sense? And that's not, so you're not operating from a space of self-worth and self-peace. All my energy and good things were coming from other outside sources, people, party, and all those things. And that cell phone being gone were making me do something I hadn't done, which was look at myself all the time and be alone with my own thoughts. And then that's when I was getting depressed. And then one day I went, speaking to one of those friends, we went to a diner in LA that everybody used to go to after the club, because we went to the club. And she asked me like one question, and I don't even remember what the question was. But when I tell you, I just flooded this woman with everything that I didn't even know that was in me, talking about my childhood, how I grew up. And that's when it started to click. I was like, oh my God, I got all this childhood trauma and didn't even know it. You know what I'm saying? So then that made me go down this path of discovery. Like, okay, because I told you I was a math major. I looked at my problem like my depression like an equation, and I broke it down. I was like, if X equals happiness, how do I get to that? And then so I started breaking it down. First, let me find myself. Why am I sad? Why am I depressed? And then I did some deep diving on that, figured it out. I had some issues with some of the men in my family growing up, and I didn't even know that. But I discovered it then. And what was really making me pissed or upset was I always vowed in my head, I would not be like them. I would not be like them. I would not be like them. But that was the wrong energy focus. I was so focused on not being like them, I started to become them. But the way that they did it, I'm going to be honest, a little more dirtier than I did. But mine also was kind of dirty because I was like the nice guy, always the nice guy. But that's kind of like really the wolf in sheep's clothing. Because these people in my life didn't even know they were being manipulated. But I didn't know either. But until I started going down this path. Then when I found myself, discovered why I had the trauma, then I had to start a forgiveness stage. And the forgiveness stage was let me forgive them. Then I started forgiving myself for the way I felt about certain people in my family. Then after that, I just had to start going forward, believing in myself and teaching myself how to heal. Now, I'm a big advocate of therapy, but I am fortunate. I never actually had to go outside and do therapy. I was literally able to figure out my own depression, figure out how it started, deal with the trauma, and started investing in myself in different ways. And then those friendships that I had started to become more powerful because I learned how to show up more genuinely than just fake showing up, for lack of a better word.
Self-healing is powerful.
So
absolutely powerful.
Absolutely. So I was proud of that journey I took. So, and I'm still on it because there's no such thing. I always tell people happiness is not some destination you reach and you're good. It's just a constant thing of just improving on the person you were the day before. That's how I feel.
Absolutely. That is a beautiful journey and story. And in a way that does not discredit what you might have lost, because your past self is still necessary. We're always still healing that inner child. You just recognize you needed to heal that inner child.
Oh, 100%.
Because that's important. What do you feel are some health challenges that men are not addressing that they need to address?
I will just say we do live in a culture of don't get me wrong, every person needs to unwind. Okay, let me go back this. Sorry, this might be a little deeper answer than what you were asking.
No, let's give it to us.
Let me just start here. And I'm just gonna be real. Living in this country in particular, we gotta start with what we're being fed and given in the first place. Meaning, like, we're one of the only countries that puts all this BS and preservatives and things in our food and our beverages, and even our whole healthcare system is built on a way to keep you just coming back for the drug that you need. So I think first is just knowledge of understanding what we put. And I'm not no preacher or nothing like that. Trust me, I still eat Harold's, I still do all the things.
Yes,
but what I've learned is
moderation,
and also identifying what is I absolutely cannot have and what I can do in moderation. Some things I just refuse to put in my body because that's the first thing. But I also learned when I started studying stuff, that's another thing I tell people, men in particular or anybody, start looking at this this earth we live on more globally or universally
Yes.
versus just where your block is or what this country is or your city or stuff like that. Because when you start looking around, you'll see that other people are not suffering around the world in the same way we are from the cancers and the diabetes and the high blood pressure and all the
They
stuff
are not.
and all the stuff that we do because one, their lifestyle in general. I'm just being honest. American capitalist culture is lazy.
Yes.
So we have a lazy energy to us where people in other
Yes.
countries, like if you go study these things called what they call them blue zones, right? And blue zones exist in a few countries around the world, like I know Costa Rica, parts of the Mediterranean have it. A blue zone is basically like where your everyday lifestyle literally contributes to your overall health and your longevity. And that just means they walk a lot naturally. They bike a lot naturally. They have community like this naturally. But guess what? They still drink wine.
Yes.
They still out here. They still party. They do all of those things, but they're doing it in a way that is always about alleviating stress, but in a positive way. And also the less amount of stress you have in this corporate society, capitalist structure, it's hard to avoid stress because there's so much put on you.
Yes.
So it's just like, so that's where we start.
Can I just say,
Please.
and the blue zones, they're living to like 100, 120 years
Yes.
old
Yep.
because they don't have the health ailments and they're eating specific foods, like you said. So when I found out how old they get to live, I was like,
and they're living that old and not having to deal with like diabetes.
Yep.
And I'll give you an example. My grandmother's sister or my aunt, well, she passed now, but she lived to about 99. I think she died right before her 100th birthday. But this woman died with old black woman from the South, Mississippi. She died with taking no medication whatsoever because she didn't have any high blood pressure, no diabetes, the typical stuff, hypertension, the stuff that kind of gets to us in our community. But the reason I'm bringing her up is because she did grow up in the very south of Mississippi, but she drank her own well water because she had that on her property. She ate her own, and she ate everything. She ate everything on the pig from the rooter to the tutor. But guess what? It was a pig that was on her property.
That they fed, that
exactly.
They did the land. They knew exactly what was going in the pig.
Exactly. So not to derail our conversation, but I do think it starts with just knowledge first. And then once you get like a good knowledge base, understand also that works well for you. Everybody is, I mean, we have similarities, but every person is different. Some people actually thrive off eating certain kinds of meat, where other people should be vegans or vegetarians and stuff like that. So I would say that. But going back to your original question is men also have to just stop being afraid to. Sometimes we think that takes away from our ability to be a man. You soft if you're doing that or stuff like that. And sometimes we're just fearful of like going to the doctor because we don't want to find out because we think I'm all right. And I can tell you how many men have died in my family just from that mentality of not taking care of themselves initially. One, not having any knowledge of what they're putting in their bodies, but also just having that fear mentality of not going to get checked out. One of the biggest ones in black men, prostate cancer, especially at my age. Like, I think almost every one of my uncles has had some version of prostate cancer, and most of them lived through it. They had the surgery, they're okay. But some of them did die because they just refused to go get that simple check because it's a stigma of, if I'm being real, I don't want nobody put their finger up in my, that's just dumb shit. Sorry, because I don't know if I
Kev on stage just posted this, telling black men to go get their checkup. And I think he posted it on Threads or some social media, and the responses back said the same messages, or you had fun at the doctor's office, jokes and stuff, but no. And then Kid and Play said that he went to the doctor because he was feeling funny and he had to have a heart surgery or something. Like, get yourself checked out. Exactly. I get it.
And preventative care, black people. We gotta stop don't get me wrong, I love a good glass of bourbon, I love a cigar, but moderation, bro. Every day can't be like, or every week, hey bro, let's get a bottle, let's do this. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, don't get me wrong, I grew up like, having a good time party, but in moderation. So as much bourbon as you drink, can you also eat some blueberries? Drink some water, retain your mind, and
put
learn.
Some frozen blueberries in your bourbon.
Exactly.
And then chew it. Exactly. Little recipe. I might try that.
There you go. I mean, actually,
probably delicious.
Yeah, put some like some
grapes
or lime juice, some real lime juice, though,
Come
not the
on,
little store.
squeeze it from the
Squeeze it from the
squeeze it from
lime,
the
or even
lime.
lemon with a little agave.
Lime is
That's a good
lime
drink.
in most Latin countries is seen as better than lemon. I
It is.
know America
Yeah.
is very lemon based, but when I was in Punta Cana, they lime down. So
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
lime has more benefits.
Lime has a ton of properties, and it, anyway, so that
Yeah.
No, that's what this is, a
Mhm.
wellness podcast. They like, don't get me down my wellness rabbit hole. Please go
Yep.
down the wellness
No, this
rabbit
makes.
hole.
I was
Let
thinking.
folks know.
I was thinking when you were talking about dietary restrictions and stuff, you all, whenever I go to your gala, you all offer vegetarian, or you'll list what each one is, and like I'm not vegetarian or vegan, but I will choose that over like a regular meal if it's red meat or if it's a like mushroom something. Cause I'm like I don't got time to test it. I'll try the spinach lasagna and do something else. Just because I know my body, and then being at an event, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I
So
feel you.
I
Yeah.
definitely appreciate that, and it makes more sense now that I hear what you're talking about.
Yeah, we always try to have just a balanced option for other people. Like, and I'm not a vegetarian either. I've been one before. I've even been a vegan, So, but I hate the labeling things. I just kind of do things again in moderation. But I feel like right now I'm on a pescatarian thing. But I will eat some chicken. I slide some chicken in there. But when I say the pest, that's literally been like 1 week. So.
I dibble back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm basically a pescatarian because I really only eat fish. But then I'll eat chicken when I'm out at black people events because you can't not have chicken.
Exactly.
And if I'm hungry, that's like my emergency meal.
As
So,
it should be. I wanted some heroes yesterday. I didn't need it, but I wanted it.
See, I'm thinking about a G Pan from Uncle Reem. I ain't even gonna say the name, but it's a in my favorite bowling alley.
Yes, I'm sorry for promoting.
No, you
good.
I just don't want them to. No, I ain't giving them because
yes.
it's a backstory. But that G Pan is calling my name. I'm trying to resist.
As it should be.
No.
You make me want to take a draft.
Hey, I'm Authentic. Authentic Capsule is my videography editor and producer name. I decided to make my long-term hobby of being behind the camera my business. I love being on sets of a podcast taping or taking pictures for a good family friend. Book Authentic Capsule so I can capture you.
You make me want to take a draft for that. Don't do that.
It's gonna be my meal for the week.
Don't do that.
That's
so
enough for a
good.
week. Oh man, but yes.
How can the tribe, our audience members, support men's health in real ways without any judgment, shame, or the toxic expectations? And I hate to use the word toxic because things shouldn't be toxic. They're just, what are some of the negative expectations that we may be continuing to reinforce, especially as it comes to men's health? And what are some real ways they can tackle those things?
Real ways they can tackle it, not being ashamed to be the leader in your group. Meaning, like, if you want to switch your focus and start focusing on whether it's your physical, your mental health, and all the things, be the leader, and also just find like-minded. Everybody in the group is not gonna just snap and be a part of it. I'll give you an example. The gentleman that I mentor young men with through Be the Miracle for our Kingmakers community, we started as just mentoring these young people, but then we switched focus thanks to my other brother, Dwayne. He was like, man, what if we just start getting together on the side and just start talking about our mental and physical health? So it's only like 4 of us, but when I tell you how many things that we've gotten out or that has helped us, like we now sharing different recipes with each other, or we or if somebody discovers something that's like, I'm really big now into like sound healing, and I'm also big into and I'm into like massages and stuff like that, just to get you in the right space. So I share that stuff with my friends, and then my brother Dwayne, who's in Florida, he just shared this one black doctor who studied Western medicine like officially, but he's also into Eastern medicine. So he started a practice where he combines the two, because as you know, like Western medicine is more designed to like basically just to treat you, whereas Eastern medicine is more to prevent you from getting. So he studies both, and he's on his program, and he's lost weight because of it and stuff like that. So he's been sharing those little tidbits with us. So to answer your question, to get out of that, we have to sometimes step up to be the leaders for our own circles.
Yes.
And then you should start to expand the circle. And again, you still got to reach people when they're ready. Everybody, it's like, for instance, people, old school people in my family, I can't tell you how many times I hear this. Man, Sauce, we made you a turkey chili because we know you don't mess with pork like that. Blah blah blah. I don't know why though, because we didn't grew up on it. But I'll be like, yeah, but look at all y'all all got mans on the counter. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't take none of that. So it's just like, so my point is, meet people where they are. Don't come off arrogant about your discovery or your healing, because when soon as somebody feels attacked, they're going to shut down.
Yes.
It's more about just welcoming them into a space of like where you can make it comfortable as possible. Here's an example. I recently talked to my dad. My sister and my mom just did this challenge where they did like only raw food for a while, raw vegan food for a while, right? Then after that, they went into just only doing fresh juices, right? And they did that over the course of about 3 weeks. So my sister ended up, feeling better. My mom feels better. So I said, Dad, we gonna let the women beat us? And I was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Can we get? And he was like, no, I ain't doing that. Typical. He was like, oh man, I like this. I was like, okay, Dad, let's just do one part. He was like, but I like me a little cold, a little beer at the end. And I was like, okay, keep the beer, but let's just do the raw food then. He was like, okay, I can do that. I was like, let's just start with like a week. And he was like, okay, we can do that. So we ain't started it yet, but he promised me he would do it because, again, his son is asking him to do something together.
Absolutely.
And so that also helps to eliminate the fear sometimes in certain men. Like, bro, I'm doing it too. Like, it ain't just me saying you do it. It's not me pointing the finger. Let's do this together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that works in any sort of relationship, male to male, male to female, whatever. Making it as safe as possible, meeting people where they are, and not forcing them to comply with what your thought of it could be. Maybe they have to do a version of it of healing and wellness that is comfortable for them. So kind of meeting them where they are and not forcing something on them, because it's hard for people to make a complete life shift, especially the older they get, because you get stuck in your ways.
Absolutely. Well, Tribe, Hassahn Sauce has given us so many nuggets.
Yeah.
Put the sauce on there. If you haven't already, please check out Hassahn Phenomenon and the album, all the albums, okay? All the singles, everything, as well as 93. I'm about to try some tea right after this. And Be the Miracle. How could I forget where I started my knowledge of him? Okay, so make sure you check out Be the Miracle Foundation, for real, and any other place Hassahn tells you all, okay? Because you need to promote it for real. We're so excited to have him with us. This has been a great conversation, but this is just part one of the conversation. To check out part two of the conversation, you have to continue with us and find us on Patreon, okay?
Hi, Tribe. It's time for our Tribe Challenge. And I like this one that Hassahn picked. It's the Check on Your Homie Challenge. Reach out to one man in your life this week and ask a real question. How are you? Like, for real, how are you? Not surface level, not quick, a real, genuine check in to see how someone's feeling, see how they are doing deep down. Make sure you use hashtags Be the Miracle and hashtag OTWV. Again, that's Be the Miracle and OTWV. And we'll see you in the comments, in the stitches. And yeah, see you in Patreon too.
Yes. And if you continue to the end, thank you. Until next time, keep flowing with the tribe. Peace.
Oasis, Oasis, Oasis.
There are 3 tips we have for the audience. We're so glad that you tuned in this far into the show. You're a trooper. And if you're a man, please subscribe and like and come back to this conversation, because we really hope that you take these actions seriously. Reach out to the men in your life and really express what's going on from the rooter to the tutor, from your head to your toes, okay? Because we want our men to live longer, to die with us, like in The Notebook, where they die together in the bed. That's what I want. Die with me, Negro, not before me, please. And thank you. Okay. Stress. Oh, you're something. Come on, man. Let the kids have to deal with the cremation of the both of us, okay? Come on. Stress is a health issue, not just a feeling. Long-term stress impacts your sleep, your blood pressure, your weight, your hormones, and your mood. Your body keeps the score. And if you listen to us in season 1 with that conversation with Cassie, she was having a heart attack and still drove herself. Your body is keeping score. So pay attention to how high your score is. Men's health improves when accountability feels safe. Get your brotherhood, grab your bros, take them with you. Men don't always need to be active. And sometimes you just need space to talk without being judged, teased, or dismissed. And that's just for anyone, but especially for our men who aren't speaking. And community care is prevention. Checking in. And we don't know how much to stress that. Like, legit check in. If you haven't seen him in a long time, check on that man. He might be dealing with something. And maybe if you are that type of friend where you can pull up on that man.
Sometimes if you ain't heard from him in a couple of reach outs,
Please.
you gotta pull up.
Please.
That's the only thing. It's only right.
A wellness check, please. Sharing the resources you have and normalizing doctor visits, especially the doctors you can feel safe with, can prevent a crisis later. Healing is a team sport. So understand, we've always been down for the men because we love the men in our lives. So take care of your health, yours and each other. Peace. If you enjoy our introspective learning content, please show your support by liking and subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us grow our channel and reach viewers like you. Check us out on YouTube and Patreon at Oasis Tribe with the Vibes at OTWV. Peace.
This is Oasis, Tribe with the Vibes. Let's grow. Together we thrive. Let's a good vibe flow.